Good morning. Sunday morning here. Kind of a cloudy morning. A little bit damp this morning. Well, we need the rain, but we didn't get very much of it. But anyways, haven't made a video since last Sunday. Well, actually, Tommy made a video to Old Orchard Farm. And he's planning on going there again today and going to try to record. And hopefully our good friend Rusty Chapman will be up there. He wasn't there last week. Things are going about the same for my wife. As for me, things are not going too good. With my diabetes. Now, since 2005 or 6 is when I was first diagnosed with diabetes, and at that time I was on pills. I was on several different kinds of medication, but one of the things I have been on from that time when they first found out I had diabetes was metformin. And I was on one other one which I'm no longer on. I haven't been on in a year. Can't remember what it was. But then they put me on, throughout the years, in the beginning there when everything started, I was on glipizide and another medication. They took me off and put me on arcarbus, and I've been on those 3 medications until Friday. Now, 3 months ago, every 3 months I go for the A1C, and the A1C shot up from 8.4 to 8.9. Before that, it wasn't too bad. It was in the 7 point something range. When I went for my blood work last week, actually today's Sunday, I went, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday of this past Tuesday or Wednesday, at Quest. I found out I almost fell to the floor. I almost passed out, not physically, but from the shock of hearing that it went to 12.2. I was really depressed about it, and I was scheduled to see the doctor, and I did see the doctor this past Friday, and she told me that the arcarbus or any of the medications aren't working anymore, but she left me on metformin. She didn't take me off of metformin. I'm taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. So those, but she took me off the glipizide and the arcarbus. Okay. When my readings were up to 8.9 at the time I found out about it, I was still on the oral medications and everything. And I just told her, I said, I'm going to be honest with you. When I have ice cream, I take an extra arcarbus. She didn't say nothing. And when I'm going to have a big meal, I take an extra arcarbus. I was supposed to take them 3 times a day. 50 milligrams 3 times a day. It was twice. when it was 8.4, 8.5, she increased the carbos. So I figured when I went in Friday, she probably will increase it again. She says, you're going to have to go on insulin. That was a big shock. I knew it in the back of my mind, but when me and needles don't get along. So it was extremely stressful for me. So much so that Friday, when she told me this, I'm going to put a prescription in for we're going to start you out at 10 units. It's on my medical chart. It's called a short pen, made by Lilly Drug Company. 10 units at bedtime. That's all. Stay on your metformin. Do not take the carbos and do not take the glipizide anymore. It's right down in their writing. She says, we'll put this prescription in, and if you can get back here before 4:30, that's Friday, see the nurse and she'll show you how to administer it. Oh, Friday was a very, very mentally stressful day for me. So I went to CVS. Well, they called it in electronically. So CVS has a lunch break between 1:30 and 2 p.m. So I went there. I left the house at 2 p.m. and hopefully the stuff was there, and it was there. The only thing that was not there is my test meter. So I talked to the pharmacist, and I got a $10 test meter. And I used to test myself when I was on pills years ago, so it's nothing new to me, but I haven't done it in years because I go by the A1C. I don't like testing. And what I used to do years ago is when I test myself and it reads high, I just take another pill. I even told the doctor that. I said, I stopped years ago. I don't want to, it just aggravates me when it goes up. I'd rather just go by the A1C, so that's what I've been doing all these years. However, now I got to get a meter, and this is the same meter. This is the $10 CVS meter that my wife has. So the testing strip she has fits this, and she's got plenty. And the pharmacist said, you don't need any of this more expensive meters because that has more memory. You don't need that. And I write things down on paper. So, alright, so I picked the stuff up. It means I had to drive all the way back out to the doctor's, about 10 miles from the house. It used to be only 3.5 to 4 miles years ago from the house, but they all moved down to a medical building, which is more inconvenience, more driving distance, 10 miles each way, or thereabouts. So I went down and brought the stuff in, and the nurse was very, very nice. And she said, we'll show you how to use it. And so she says, before we do that, would you like your COVID shot? I said, I thought COVID was over. And she said, no. I said, all right. I didn't even feel it. I said, I didn't feel it. You done already? She already put the Band-Aid on. But boy, when I laid on that shoulder last Friday night, it hurt, and it's still sore now. But I didn't feel a damn thing all day. I didn't even feel a needle going in. So, but there was supposed to be a shingle shot but I guess the pharmacy gives you that. I don't know. And a pneumonia shot, and who knows what else. But anyways, I got that, and then after they gave me that, she went through the stuff that I had in the CVS bag, and I had the meter, but I had to buy the meter, $10, because the pharmacist says it didn't go through the insurance company yet, and we don't know if they'll approve it for the CVS meter. I said, why not? The meter was only $10. I says, I'll buy the meter. My wife's got the strips. Okay. So that's what I did. But meanwhile, when I went to the doctors with the stuff from CVS, so she could show me how to use the insulin, and she had to show me day one because I don't watch my wife when she does it. She just does her thing. But she could have showed me, but my pen is different. Hers got the Nuvolog, I don't know, 60-40, 70-30, whatever the heck it is. I don't know. Mine's not a Nuvolog pen. It's a different kind of pen. And it's called a short pen, S-H-O-R-T. Why, I don't know, but, and it's only 10 units. So it's $100 and some dollars. Medicare's insulin's supposed to be $35. But you gave me one box and it comes 5 in a box. But that's for 3 months. But that's at 10 units. I'm only being tried out with 10 units now. So if they increase it, she says, if your readings go up, you let us know and we'll adjust your insulin, which means if it's more, it's not going to last 90 days, and I'm going to have to get another $100 and some thing. That's just the way that drug companies work. I don't know. Oh, all right. So she told me where to put the insulin. I says, most people put it in their belly. I said, well, I don't have much fat on my belly. And she checked. She said, no, you don't. So they had to go way down below the belly button, where there's a little bit of fat down there, and that's where you're supposed to put it. You can't go in the arm because you can't do it that way, or you can put it in your thigh. And I got no damn meat on me at all. So, you know, most guys have a big gut. I don't. So you can't put it here. There's like all muscle, believe it or not. So she showed me how to take the. My wife calls them a space capsule. They look like they look like a space capsule when they come in the parachute and they're ready to come down from outer space. That's what it appears to be. So you're supposed to pull a little tab off the bottom, a little seal, screw it on the end of your pen after you pull the cover off. The cover, it looks like a big magic marker. The cover looks just like that. You pull it off. And then you screw this thing on the end of it. And then you're supposed to pull it off. I couldn't pull it off. My wife said you just turn it and pull it off. When I turn it to pull it off, it starts unscrewing from the pen again. So I still couldn't do it last night. But anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. And I wasn't even going to talk about this, but it's something maybe, a lot of people can be familiar with, I'm sure. I've never dealt with insulin. I had the biggest fear of having to be on insulin, but I figure, my wife says you talk negative all the time, and I says I do, because I'm a negative person. She told me that from, years and years and years ago. I says, if anything can go wrong, it always does. Things keep costing more. And with my luck, I probably have to be on insulin. My PSA is over 5, so I know I got prostate cancer. What else can it be? I don't have to see the prostate doctor until next year. So I'll worry about that when that time comes. Uh, so she showed me how to do it, and she showed me how to put the um, thing on the insulin pen. And with my eyesight, and I don't have my reading glasses, I never bring them because they keep falling out of my pocket, so I don't bring them. I have a magnifier in my pocket, you know. So she showed me, and there's two things you got to take off. There's a kind of like a pointed thing that you're supposed to pull off, but I couldn't pull it off. And then there's a little sleeve, that tiny little sleeve that goes over the needle. You pull that out. And then your pen is ready to use, and then at the end, where the button is, she told me how to dial it, and that was easy. You can see it, and she turned it up to 10 units. She says, I can show you now, but once I put this thing on, we gotta throw it away. You can't use it again. So I said, well, this was about, when I went back there, this was about 3:30 in the afternoon. They close at 4:30. So it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm going to have you do it. I'm going to tell you what to do. You push it in, and then you keep pressure on it for 5 or 10 seconds, I guess it is, and then take it out. So she told me you pinch down there, and you pinch it fat, which ain't got much on me, and you put it in. I didn't feel it at all. Nothing. Perfect. So I said, well, that was easy. Then my mind, that I have the same problem most of the time when I get blood draw. I'm sitting in the chair over in the doctor's office with the nurse there, and one other nurse was there. The doctor wasn't there because my appointment was in the morning, and I've already seen her. So I was supposed to just come back Friday afternoon to be shown how to use this. Okay? So that's the whole idea of coming back. But, all right. I'm sitting there, and then the cold sweats start, and the pins and needles start. I gotta lay down. I gotta lay down. I gotta lay down. I don't feel good. No pain, if it, nothing. It's all up here. It's like anxiety, stress. That's why I'm on Xanax when I have to have something like this. But I didn't bring my Xanax, which is prescribed for me. Very, very, very low dosage. 0.025 or 0.25, 2 tablets. I take that, it doesn't affect me at all. But I didn't take it because I figured, well, it shouldn't be like blood draw, When I have blood draw, I have to be laid down. At my request, I have to be laid down. Sometimes I can be sitting up and do it, no problem. It don't bother me at all. This didn't bother me at all. It's the psychological thing, I guess it is. Cold sweats. And I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. The doctor came in. They finally got me laid down. It took a long, it seemed like forever to get a cold ice pack, get something under my head, put the reclining thing down. They had one of those things you lay back, in those chairs, I guess, reclining chairs. Get my feet up, laid me down, and they had this little thing on my finger to check the blood saturation, whatever they call it, I don't know. And my blood pressure was down, I don't know, up to 40s or 50s. It's cold sweat. I was sweating it, and my eyes were closed. I just, I can hear 3 or 4 of them come in, and I peek up, and I was like all over the recliner, thrashing back and forth. It was like, It's like the first time I had blood drawn. You know, it was traumatizing for me. It was all up here. It's not that it hurt. Didn't feel a thing with the insulin. It's just the thought of it. I don't know. They had the blood pressure, constantly measuring my blood pressure. His blood pressure is very, very low. I heard the nurse say, maybe we ought to put him in the hospital. That's how concerned they were for me. My blood pressure took a long time to come up. It was very, very low. When I first saw the doctor Friday morning, when I went in and was told that I have to be on insulin, my blood pressure was very good. The low number was 70 something. I don't remember. It was very good. Very good. Because I'm on blood pressure medication anyways. So, it took a long time. It must have, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. I was laying there sweating and sweating and sweating. And finally I started feeling a little better. They told me, no, don't get up. I says, I'm starting to feel better. It felt like I was going to die. And of course, it took a long time. They were still doing my blood pressure. They told me stay there. And when I felt comfortable, I opened my eyes and I could see the doctor in there. I says to him, was I white? He says, oh yes, you were white as a sheet. And that's what happened back 2006 or 7 when I first found out I had diabetes and I had a blood draw. But at that time it was done in doctor's office. There was no Quest doing it. So you had everything done at the doctor's office. And the same thing happened to me. My blood pressure went down. I think the lower number was like in the 40s. I was white as a sheet, cold sweats. Same thing. Now, I've been nauseated with blood work, in recent years, and I feel a little sweaty but never that bad. And if they lay me down, put a cold compress on my forehead, I'm usually okay in 5 or 10 minutes. But this time was bad. So I said, geez, you're going to put me in the hospital. I heard you say that. We were very, very concerned. Your vitals are coming up now. And the blood pressure, when I was, she said it's okay to stand up, the blood pressure was, low number was in the 60s. Low 60s this time instead of high. Don't remember what it is. I got the paperwork but I don't have the printout of when my readings were low when I was all stressed out. So after that, I was still laying down. She said, I don't want you getting up yet. The one that, the nurse that showed me how to use the insulin, will give you a little bit of juice, but we want you to stay here for a little while, and then they come back in and they checked and it was okay. And she came in with a donut, a plain donut. Would you like a donut? I mean, I can eat that stuff now. She said, sure. I says, I'm not much of a donut eater. And I started joking with her. I said, geez, boy, I thought I was going to die, I told her. But I guess that isn't too much. They didn't smile at that. I joke around when I get nervous. But it did. It did feel like I was going to die. It's an awful, awful feeling. I just need to get laid down lower and lower. I just need a cold compress. I was really, really unbelievable. Oh, that's why all the years I worked, I would never take blood work. Never. I had to the first year I started working. It was mandatory. But when I had a physical, every year I'd pass on the blood work. And this is why. But I'm better with it now as I get older, but this time it was a new experience for me. It's just all up here. All up here. It's nothing physical, but it affected me physically. And I'm not, on the chart it says take your Xanax as needed, but I never take it unless I have to go through blood work. And now I don't even take it because my wife can't drive, so when I go to Quest, if I take the Xanax, I got to drive myself home, and it really don't affect me. It's supposed to calm me. The only way it's going to affect me is take 4 of those pills, because back in 2006, my doctor who passed on, Evelyn Miller, she was a wonderful lady. She was in her 70s. She would give you a prescription if she saw you at Walmart if you needed it. You know, that's what she did with my wife when my wife was able to get out. A real family doctor. You can talk to her. She had a good sense of humor. Jolly woman. I think she was Irish. I think very, very nice lady. But anyway, she gave me Xanax that was twice as strong. And she gave it to me for blood work, but also when I went for my cryosurgery for the prostate, which obviously the freezing of the prostate, the damn cancer's back again. Obviously, I know it is if it's over 5. So my wife drove me down in 2009 to the outpatient to have my cryosurgery done. And when she drove me up there, before I left the house, I took 2 Xanax, 0.5 milligrams, not point. I don't know. It's double the dosage, whatever it is. I get the numbers mixed up. It's either 0.25 or 0.025. I can't remember that. I don't have the bottle, but whatever it is, the Xanax that was originally given to me by prescription was twice as strong as the ones I got now from the doctor. Okay? And the one I got now from the doctor, you take 2 pills as prescribed, as needed, doesn't do anything for me. I still get anxiety. But if I take 4, at the time I had the cryosurgery, I was about 180 pounds. I'm 155 now. I'm losing weight. Was 159. So I'm wasting away to nothing. 155. Unbelievable. I'm a bag of bones. The nurse says, no, you're not a bag of bones. You're just thin. Well, to me, I'm a bag of bones. I look like hell. But anyways. So, I didn't take the Xanax, as I said in the beginning, because I didn't think there was going to be any big deal. My only fear was, would I feel less going in, and it isn't. Okay? So, as I said, this is the meter. Now, my wife has the same thing. It takes the advanced testing strips. It tells you one thing here. So, I would say on Friday I was given the shot. Well, I gave myself the shot. And after that traumatic experience that I had, when I was all calmed down, able to get up, the nurse offered me a juice, which I drank. And then I said, I'm not much on donuts, so I have a little piece of donut. I said, ooh, this is good. This is like the Dunkin' Donuts. Years and years ago, I'd get the plain Dunkin' Donuts with the little handle on them. They call them the Dunkin'. That's the only donut I'd ever eat at McDonald's. At Dunkin' Donuts. I haven't been to Dunkin' Donuts in years. Small coffee is like 3 times as much as McDonald's, and McDonald's is better coffee anyways. So I said my big downfall is when I go to the fairs is strawberry shortcake. And you know what the nurse that said to me, "You want strawberry shortcake? I've got some." I says, "What?" "Yes, I've got shortcake." I says, "I'm only joking. I'll give you a piece of it. Give you some." Oh, was I tempted? I said, "Oh, no, I better not. I mean, my readings are high, and you just gave me this shot, and you're telling me that I can have a piece of strawberry shortcake? No?" But that made me feel good, but I said, no, that's all right. Thanks anyways. And that's the first time, because I used to go to the fairs, and I didn't go to the fair this year because I had to be home to take care of my wife. And Tommy tells me, "You're going to go to the fair?" I said, "No, I can't. She got to go to the bathroom. I got to help her. If she falls, I'm in big trouble. She's in big trouble." So, all right. Now, they told me several times, the doctor and the nurse says, if your readings, after you test, goes over 200, you call us. If it goes over 200, you call us. I said, okay. All right, here we go. She tells me, test in the morning, and if you want to test in the afternoon, you can. Take your insulin at bedtime. That's all. Right now, just once. 10 units. Okay. So what I did is, I got my meter ready. I got the lancet in what I call the plunger, the thing you just, cock and ready to go and fire it, and it goes bing and it pricks your finger, okay? I'm used to that because I've done it years ago. Okay, so I get that all ready. I do the alcohol swipe on the finger. Years ago I never did that. I just made sure my hands are clean. So I did it all right, and I got it all ready to go. And at 5:15 p.m. Friday, just about 2 hours after I was given that insulin myself from the doctor's office, I says, I'm going to test myself. I did. 306 was the reading. I says, what? 306? And the doctor told me if it goes over 200, call them. Well, it was 5:15 and they're already closed. They close at 5 o'clock. All right. The next day, the 28th, reading glasses don't do it. And I write big. That's why I didn't use the little book. That comes, my wife's got a bunch of them little books. Way too small. I got to write big, All right, so what I did the 28th, which was yesterday, all right. Yesterday was Saturday. Before we went out to get pizza, and I told the doctor I go out for pizza, and the doctor said, "You should be okay." They didn't seem to be concerned, didn't tell me, no, don't go out. Saturdays is when we go out to get pizza. I bring pizza home for my wife and my son, and I had pizza at the pizza house. I like pizza with green peppers, hamburg, onion, and light on the pepperoni and light on the cheese. I don't like a lot of cheese. It's too damn salty. I never did like a lot of cheese on pizza. Gotta have some cheese, but not much. I like my hamburger, green pepper, and onion. My wife and my son can't stand having that kind of stuff on it. All right, so before I went to get pizza at 4:15 p.m. Saturday afternoon, I decided to test. I asked my wife, she got the same meter I have. I said, can I use your meter? I want to go side by side. Now, normally the pharmacist said you don't want to use her meter because her history is going to be in there and your reading is going to be in there. But my wife says she don't use the history in the meter. She writes it all down in the book. So the history don't matter. Okay? So theoretically, I could have just not have paid $10 for a meter, which is reading higher than hers. All right, so I did a comparison. First of all, I asked her Friday night if I can borrow her meter, because she sleeps late, for Saturday morning. So I did that. Saturday morning at 6 a.m., I get up early in the morning. I wash my hands. I put the prep on. I got both meters with the testing strip inserted. She's got the same meter I have, same testing strips. My meter read at 6 a.m. Saturday morning, 310. Her meter read 240. At 4:15 p.m., before I went out to get the pizza, my wife's meter read 351, and my meter read 377. This morning, at 6:30 a.m., I didn't have her meter. I didn't ask for it. At 6:30 a.m., my meter read 257, so it come down a little. But the idea is there's a big discrepancy in identical meters. Now, I can see if it read 4 or 5 or 10 points different. They're going to be like that. So, I got to give a report. So, Saturday morning, I tried calling my doctor because she said if it goes over 200 to call. They're not open the weekends. All you get is a recording. If this is an emergency, call 911. Yeah, I'm going to call 911 to say that my readings are high. What do I do? No. So, I was tempted to just take a couple of a car boost, but my wife said, no, don't do that. I guess there's something about the pancreas isn't producing insulin anymore. So if I took, against doctor's orders, took the acarbose over the weekend, so I can get the readings down, I think that'll probably mess things up. So meanwhile, I got very high readings. But it's 257 this morning at 6:30. And of course I'm taking the metformin. I took that. The doctor told me it don't matter when you take it, as long as you take one in the morning and one at night. Two of them actually, two 500 milligrams in the morning, 2 500 milligrams in the evening. It don't matter if you take it with food or anything, it's slow release, I guess, extended release. So that's the story there. So we got 2 meters. So even if I went by my wife's meter, it's still very bad. Still over 200. Now this morning it was 257 and the meter was flashing the number. My wife says if it reads over 250 it would flash. And my meter was flashing also. So that's the verdict there. So there's going to be adjustments on the insulin. There's going to be adjustments on the insulin. And I don't know whether she's going to have a double shot in the evening or whether it's going to be one in the morning, one at night. I don't know, but all I do know is the 5 pens that I have are supposed to last 3 months using 10 units once a day. If she increases them, the insulin isn't going to last that long, so I'm going to be paying more for the insulin. Right now, my wife is paying $35 a month for a month's supply because that's the most they charge, but she is already out of the donut hole, and she met her deductible a long time ago. I have not even met my deductible yet for my SilverScript prescription. So things cost more. There's like $200 worth of stuff that I picked up yesterday, Friday. So that's the story there, folks. Long-winded video. I wasn't going to make a video about this, but I just wanted to give you a video out there. And today, Tommy's going to be going to he's already gone. He left at 10 this morning by his new mentor, Dave. Dave, I'm sorry, it's on my mind. Revis. Dave passed away at age 57 last week, and we didn't want to really discuss it. I told Tommy it wouldn't. Age 57, the same age my dad passed on, of a burst appendix, and I think a heart attack, what somebody was saying. All of a sudden, you know, Dave was a wonderful, wonderful man. A good friend of the family, helped Tommy, and took him places and did things, tried to keep him steering in the right direction, and everything else. And all this here is hard on him too. So, you know. So, Revis is a nice guy. I met him. He's a very nice fellow, and he takes Tommy out. He took him to the DMR dances that he goes to once a month, which I can't. My wife can't drive anymore. Not the way her legs are so swelled up, and she's pulmonary hypertension. She can hardly get her breath. She's got a lot of issues, so she can't drive. I can't drive at night. Dances are at night. So I can't take Tommy very many places because I don't drive at night at all. I haven't in years. I have no problem during the day. Anyways, so that was my experience over the weekend from Friday and today. So that's where we stand. So I got a big change of life here. And the doctor knows I'm really, really stressed out with my wife. You know, worried about her. She can't get to the doctor. She can't get the ultrasound for the blood clot in her leg because she can't get out. So she has to keep postponing. They want her to come in. Naturally, they can't come to the house and do it, and they won't admit her in the hospital to do the test because Medicare won't pay for it. In other words, you've got to be in very bad shape before they admit you to the hospital. So I had suggested do everything at once in the hospital, have her in a week, and then have her come home. They won't do that. I almost begged the doctor. The doctor said they can't do that. She needs so many tests done and procedures, and we don't even know if she's still got the blood clot, so she's on this very expensive blood thinner. Not Coumadin, she's on the other one. I can't remember the name. I don't know if it's Eliquis or what it is. Eliquis is one of them she's on for something, I don't know. Oh, enough of the sadness. That's where we're at right now. That's where I'm at right now. Nothing's being done on the radio. I'm just not in the mood to do it, and I got to get a 1T4 tube. And I got a couple of resistors that are off value in there, and it's going to be a nightmare trying to hook and pinch them into the radio. But I got a couple of them there that are reading a 4.7 meg is reading 5.5 meg, and it's reading high in a circuit means it is high. So the components around it are not influencing the reading, not if the reading reads higher than the resistor is supposed to be. So we know that that 4.7's got to go, and it's very hard to get at. So, all right. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to get back, but the difference in these meters is substantial. Like I said, 310 on my meter versus 240 on her meter. $351 on her meter versus $377 on my meter. And this morning, of course, was $257 on my meter, and I'm sure hers would have read low, but I didn't ask for her meter last night for this morning. So that's where we're at now. I don't know whether to continue using this or use her meter all the time. So I'm going to mention this to the doctor, and we'll see where we're at. Thanks for watching, folks. This is a long one.